welcome to Friday My Life. This Walsh. I unfortunately have to report that Alon is not going to be party to this podcast today. He moved and has been incurring one disaster after another, so it's just me. So if you listen to this podcast, putting up with me to get Alon's takes, push the 2 vertical lines with the circle, red buttons, delete buttons, have at it, but be forewarned, you are going to be getting just me for probably the next hour or so. Going to probably be guided a lot by questions here off the international break. We got a good healthy smattering in Discord, and we'll see how we go. Last time I went straight through trying to make editing easier for Alon, and I thought I was going to pass out afterwards. So this time I'm going to actually take some breaks, but you guys won't even know about that because it will be so seamlessly edited by Alon. So we'll jump straight in with Aaron. Discord lifestyle question: which temperature scale is better and why is it Celsius? Did not have temperature scale discussion on my bingo card in Discord for the international break this last 2 weeks, but it happened and people had strong opinions. Unfortunately, I do not have strong opinions. I think it's fucking stupid and the world should just be on some uniform thing so that, people can just look at the numbers and it's all the same. I don't really know the difference between either, and I barely know what Fahrenheit means, and I live in America, less Celsius. I know the number's smaller. That's about as far as I've gone there, but, basically, I just don't give a shit. Sorry, Aaron. But you guys were impassioned, and I enjoyed to follow along with the conversation, even if I didn't contribute. Carefree, FC, hard-hitting Arsenal question. There's several. With Odegaard out, is Eze a pick, or does this just make Saka the best Arsenal asset in attack? So yeah, Eze, little cheeky knee injury. He's starting to be world-renowned at picking up injuries. Out for a month and a half or so. Certainly bolsters Eze's appeal. I think we were talking last pod, just like a fully fit Arsenal, that Eze wasn't nailed. And, while we certainly believe him to be first choice, we just know with their plethora of options that, you could just see him missing a random game here or there, rested in a league game, play at Champions League. We know about Arteta's sexual relationship with Trossard, seems to never get dropped. So losing Odegaard, though, definitely puts a lot more of the creativity onus on Eze. And whether he's starting, at left wing or as more of the forward attacking 8, you definitely like his prospects as a pick a lot more than, when Odegaard was healthy, to me anyway. I guess the con to that argument is that without Odegaard, they're just so much less free-flowing and are less likely to put 3-4-5 past an enemy, which I certainly I have time for that argument. I still don't really like Eze as a pick, though, because he just doesn't have avenues, right? We're back to they don't and haven't shown us to be scoring 3+ regularly enough to offset the lack of avenues that this is a player I want on my team. I mean, we look at Eze, remember back when he was in Palace last year. I mean, he was in fine fettle towards the end of the season, but he had every avenue. He was cheaper, and we kind of scored about at the same rate as Arsenal last year, and he was in no teams. I mean, he was profligate most of the year, but in terms of this, Eze is such a good pick. I feel like it's such mass hysteria. I don't know whether because he's English or it's just there are that many more Arsenal fans, but I still just see him at 7'6" as kind of a middling asset. And, there are just 6'5" midfielders who are nailed on pens, et cetera, and so on, who I just so strongly prefer. The other thing too, and we've been discussing about Arsenal's attack. I also just, to the second part of Carefree's question, to me, yes. I mean, Saka is, and forever will be for the rest of this season anyway, unless if something really dramatic happens, is their best attacking asset. The pens makes it more, you feel a lot easier to say that, knowing that he has at least some 50%, make up a number, pen share after he took the one last game. But Gyak just looks like he might be a legitimate problem. And, Saka's just hitting the straps and looks great. So, still love Saka. But, the other thing too, and we've been sort of backing ourselves into a corner almost. Especially now that the West Ham game's out of the way, which was a home, banker game week 7. They do have good fixtures on paper in air quotes, but they also do low key have 3 away games in the next 4, and 2 of the promoted games are away. I'm not nervous having 2 Arsenal attackers in my team with Gyak and Saka. I know we've been talking about like every year they put 4 past the promoted sides, but you know, this isn't your mom's Norwich, right? Like this isn't last year's fucking Southampton with Russell, you know, idiot face Martin, you know, getting fired from every job since that appointment. So I'm a little nervous, and I have 2 frees. I don't know what I'm going to do with my team here. If I am going to maybe twist off Gyak, I'm not too sure, but it's definitely in my mind. It's definitely in my mind. All right, moving on to the next questions. I just also want to shout, I know this is usually Alon's stomping ground, the questions for the pod, but if you guys have very team-specific questions that, you know, you're putting in questions for the pod, it's just not the place. So please feel free to DM me. I usually don't leave DMs unread or unresponded to. You know, and say I could say the same for a lot. Well, I don't know what he's on Discord. A lot of more Discords. I don't know what his Discord situation is, but I'm just on the one, obviously, since I'm like a fucking hermit. But if you want, like, this is my team, what should I do? Or I have 3 guys, who should I start? Just, you know, feel free to DM me. It's not a bother at all. It's part of why you pay to hang out in our community. Or, you know, you think I'm dumb, then ask someone else in the community who's better than me at FPL, of which there are many of those folks. So if you did ask a question of this nature, I'm gonna just be skipping them.